Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Fan Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
And I'm Scott Wakefield, host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham, where we talk about comic books and all kinds of great storytelling, sometimes with incredible guests. And we want you to join us Wednesday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you there.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
For Sunday, our Sunday stream. We're going to have some challenges this week because I am turning all the knobs and pushing all the buttons and not sure how to make it all work. So I'm just going to ask you to bear with me as we try to make this stuff happen. So while we're doing this, it looks like YouTube is live, so maybe we'll get over there. So everyone, take a minute or two and share out the links, because we weren't able to have the starting soon stream. I don't know how to do it with this. So share out the links. So just take a moment to do that. Someone sing for us. Sing.
Nobody knows.
All right. So, okay. It looks like, yes, we are live on YouTube. I am glad of that. All right, I'm copying the link. I'm putting it on Twitter. Join us live now. It has been tweeted.
It's been tweeted.
It's been tweeted. And did y'all see me posting about I had to go to the new Facebook format?
Yes.
Yeah,
I do not like that one bit at all. I can't figure out where anything is. Things are popping up that have never popped up before. Oh, well, look at that. Silverline Live right on. That's rare. So Tommy says, what's up, everybody? Let me go ahead and share this out. I'm going to share it to my story because my daughter said that people see your story. So I'm gonna do that. Thanks you, Tommy. Thanks, Tommy. I love it too. It's kind of worn. I need to get me another one. Okay, I shared that out. Let me make restream. It's working. That seems to be working. I think we're working.
Oh.
So that's good. Royal Airship says, "Hey, Silverline fam, what's up, Royal Airships?" Okay. Whew. So Brett is competing again, and Brett is usually our behind-the-scenes guy.
Oh, cool.
So, yep. So, so we got our fingers crossed that he'll continue to move forward, because there comes a point once he crosses that point, he'll actually get some money. And so we're hoping that he can cross that point so he can get some money for his competitions. He did get a really sweet, I wish I want one. He got a really sweet, his team name is Mud Dogs, and he got a really sweet Mud Dogs jersey that they all wear now when they're competing. So that's kind of cool. So anyway.
Sounds like we need a Silverline jersey.
I was saying, we should get that, yeah.
Well, you know.
I want free merch.
BJ,
You want free merch?
About that today. Tommy says he loves the new Facebook. Eric Dodson says, "Hey, Eric, what's up, Eric?" Eric says, "Hey, everybody."
Hey.
I'm saying,
Ahoy.
"Hey, everybody." Okay, so I'm gonna try this out. First thing I'm gonna do before we introduce anybody. All right, we have got. I think so much sharing is not sharing, right? So I'm going to share this and see what happens. Okay.
Oh.
Very good.
All right, so I'll just do that.
All right.
So this is the merch of the week. We do have a merch. Silverline has a merch store, so if you will, pop on over there and see what's available. If there's something there that you would like to see, but it's not there, drop us a line. That's the cool thing about being an independent company is if you want to see a mug with, say, Divinity on it, we have that available. We have that available, by the way. But if there's something that you want to see that we don't have, just tell us and we can try to make that happen. So the Silverline, the sweet Silverline mug is the merch of the week. And so now we'll get to some introductions. Let's see. Go back here. I am Roland. I'm the kind of the chief wrangler here. I'm also the writer of Cat and Mouse and Trumps, and we're going to be talking more about those in just a minute. But we're going to get everyone else introduced here. First up is Curtis. Curtis, tell everybody who you are.
Hello, I'm Curtis Fujita. I'm good? Okay.
Yep, you're good.
I'm Curtis Fujita. I'm the creative director at Silverline. I also am the editor on Keyless, and I'm also an artist with experience in comic book, animation, and video games. That's me.
Sweet.
Pretty cool.
Yep, very cool. I put some other stuff up here. Where am I not finding that? Okay, John, tell everybody who you are.
I am John. Currently today, I am John, the Viking Prince Voltan Martin. I'm the inker for Friar Rush. As you can see, a page that's just popped up on screen from the first issue. Aaron penciled it, and I inked it. Other than that, that's it. That's all I do with Silverline right now.
All right.
For the moment.
And you're working on issue number 2, right?
Yes, I am working on issue 2.
Sweet.
I got to make a supply run for some more ink. But I'm working on issue 2.
That's a good problem to have. Oh, I wondered why it was so dark. It's because I moved my light. So I'm going to try to move my light back over here. And that helps a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it helps a lot, doesn't it? Excellent. Thank you, John. Next up is Roberta. Roberta, why don't you tell everyone who you are?
I'm Roberta, just a colorist. For the book of
Never say that.
Working on Pendulum right now, and soon Cat and Mouse going forward. So I'm excited about that. I'm a former Malibu comic colorist, as are some of the others here. And anyway, hi.
Okay. Very cool. And this is Roberta's third stream, right?
I think it's the third one, yes.
Third stream. So,
excellent.
We are happy you are joining us now. Next up is Aaron Humphreys, and I'll put this one back up there. Aaron, tell everybody who you are.
I am the penciler of the Friar Rush comic, which I just shipped out along with Bloodlines, and also do my own comic, Godlings, which you can find on Webtoons and other places. Yeah, right now it was just Friar Rush, and we're gonna get more stuff. So yeah, that I drew that, and then John inked it, and Becca colored it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And you did say it just shipped out, and so yes, this is what you should all be having in your hands. And we have submitted that. Hey, John's got his copy there. For those of you who missed the Kickstarter, it has been submitted onto Indie Planet, and so hopefully as soon as they get around to it, we'll have those to be added to Indie Planet. Right now, you can get everything up to Friar Rush and Bloodline. You can get everything on Indie Planet. All right, next up is I'm sorry, I'm going a little slower. I'm trying to have to figure all this out. Next up is Barb. Where you at, Barb? Wait a minute. I just saw Barb up here.
I'm here.
I know, but I'm looking for your image to put. Oh, here we go. Next up is Barb. Barb, tell it. Oh, I don't have now. No, I don't want me. Not me. No. There, Barb. Tell everybody who you are.
My name's Barb Kelberg, and I am the creator, co-writer, inker, and colorist for Divinity, which you see up there. And I am the inker on Cat and Mouse, which is kickstarting right now. And the colorist for Sirens, which is an old classic that's being colored. The black and white is being colored and will be reprinted in color at some point. And I'm also the CFO of Silverline.
And we are calling these our remix versions, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, Curtis?
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and whoop, got somebody else here. Next up is Peter Clinton. Peter, tell everybody who you are.
I always follow Bob, and Bob does so many things. I'm just a penciler. I do one thing.
Stop showing me. Okay.
Oh, look, there's a cover.
Yeah.
So I'm the penciler on the working title, Champion of Miss Fury. I got that right this week. And I did that cover you're looking at. I penciled that cover.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, colours come out pretty good, right?
Great.
Yes,
thank
they
you.
did.
Well done, brother.
Yep. And it was inked by Tommy, who is
Of course, yes.
I think listening on the stream here.
Mhm.
So okay. So and just joining us by the skin of his teeth here is Wubba. Wubba, say hi to everyone and tell them who you are.
Hello. I am currently just the penciler on the next Cat and Mouse that's coming up after next one. Yeah.
All right, so I do have an image, but I'm slow to get to it. There we go.
There you go. Ooh, that's good. I don't think I've seen
That's
that one.
interesting.
Yeah.
That one's fun.
Yes.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Look at Wubba go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I got to start living up to something.
That's right. Wubba's been jamming.
Yes.
He's keeping me excited over here. So one of the things Wubba mentioned, and we haven't talked about it a whole lot here on the stream, is that he said the next Cat and Mouse. So what the plan is, we're going to finish. We're going to finish this miniseries. Alex and Barb will be art teaming it out. Roberta's going to join us for the last issue of number four, which finishes up the arc. And then we're going to start a new arc, which, as you can see there, hints at some voodoo stuff. And Wubba is going to be penciling that. So I'm very excited because he's already got like 7 pages done. I mean, he's
9.
No
Sorry,
way.
9. Wait,
Wow.
did you finish the spread?
No.
Okay, 7 pages.
Yeah.
7 pages.
No, I turned in 9 tonight.
Okay, all right, yeah. You turned in 9, but you skipped the spread.
Yeah.
So 7 pages, but that's jamming, dude. That's like 3. That's like 1/3 of the way there. So I'm incredibly excited about that. So what? Did I hear somebody say Roland? Okay, so I'm gonna read a couple of these messages, and then we're gonna talk about the Kickstarter before we get to our topic. Oh, Steve Halsey says howdy all. John, Steve. I said Halsey. Steve is. I was on OCD with drinking with gas. Was it last night? No, it was Thursday night.
A couple of nights ago.
Oh man, my days are running.
It was a couple nights ago.
John provided a lot of entertainment for us. So you remember that, John?
Vaguely,
yeah. Cassisi says greetings
John's
all.
like,
Hey Cassisi,
what was
how
I
you doing?
doing?
And by the way,
Hey.
everyone, just so you know, Cassisi just had his first comic. It's available on Comixology now. So
Cool.
yeah, we're
Congrats.
excited about that.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
See, it's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, it's comic book fairies. That's what
Yeah,
happens, right? Yeah.
Give it a week.
Cedric Boyd said, just pop in to say hey to everyone and hope everyone is doing okay. Looking forward to reading the great comics and stories all y'all are working on. Thank you, Cedric. We appreciate it. Steve says, what's in your Coke tonight?
it's Dr. Pepper, not Coke.
Yeah. No, it's not. I don't
It is
drink
here.
Dr. Pepper.
It is right here.
My family's not listening, so I can tell you this is Coke. I snuck some. Shh. So, anybody have anything else before we dive into our topic? Oh, yes, Curtis. Right. Go ahead.
I believe it's a special day for a certain somebody who
That's right.
sounds like Aaron Humphrey.
That's right. So we're going to do the first time we've ever done this, okay? And we want to remember Brad Tomty, whose birthday was yesterday. We're going to sing happy birthday, y'all. Yeah. Listen, we are not the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. We are comic book creators. So if you're expecting that, you might want to change the channel. But Aaron is having a birthday today, and it's a special day. He has joined us here on the stream on his birthday. So we are going to sing. Okay. Curtis, lead us.
What?
Hey, you're the creative director.
Oh, okay. Okay. Everybody, with feeling, drink emotion. Not from here or here, but from here. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
Man, this sounds terrible. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my God! I hope we didn't lose viewers.
Thank you so much, guys.
You're never going to get that.
No.
Even if they try to.
That's right. Steve says happy birthday, and Cassisi says happy birthday as well. There.
Thank you.
So yeah. Happy birthday, sir. You want to tell us how young you are?
45 today.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Up
Yeah, I don't look it. Right.
It's the baby.
Now, do you
I
feel
know.
older?
Barbara, she's like, I'm double digits, triple digits by now, but
Something like that. I'm retired, so that gives you a hint.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, we feel honored that today is your special day, and you still chose to join us on the stream here, so we can talk about some fun stuff.
I'll have some chili cheese fries in your honor.
And Brad, if you're listening to Brad, whose birthday was yesterday, that goes out to you as well. So all right. Well, today we're going to be talking about adaptations, movie adaptations of comics. So we're going to talk about the worst, and then we're also going to talk about the best. I think I want to go through and talk about the worst because I think we're probably going to have some exciting and spirited. Yeah. Please share so we can see Roberta.
Get that up there. There's Pendulum too.
Okay, I'm not seeing the share
Not yet.
Not
yeah,
yet.
it looks dark. Why?
I'm not getting a notification that you're sharing yet, so. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. There it is.
There.
It came up.
There we go. Here it is. I see it.
Woohoo!
There it is.
All right.
This.
Let me go over
There
here.
we go. All right, so Pendulum. It's, what did you call it? A classic recolor or something?
Yeah, it's the remix.
Remix.
It's the remix.
Remix.
Yeah. Eric Dotson said it's a good thing it's being recorded. So we've been in comics. Those of us who've paid attention to comics know that when we first started in comics, there weren't a lot of comic adaptations. I mean, we had very, very few, especially film. Okay, so one of the questions that went around in our group is like, are we going to talk about animation? We're not going to talk about animation. That's another conversation, okay? Because I think we can do a whole segment on that. So this one is only going to be comics to live, okay? So we can talk about TV, we can talk about film, but no animation for tonight. We'll do that later. So anyway, we didn't have a whole lot to talk about, when we first started reading, but things started happening in the late 80s, right? And then we started getting a lot of adaptations that we could actually look at. So this 2020, what is the absolute worst adaptation that's happened? Okay, Barb, you go first.
She's thought about this.
The one I hate the most, Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, yeah.
I can't stand that movie.
So why? What about it don't you like?
Everything.
Fair enough.
I thought that was a decent movie.
Oh,
No,
we had a Muppet Duck. I mean, it was horrible. I mean, it looked like a guy with a fake duck head on. You know, it was just embarrassing.
Probably was a short guy with a head on.
And right up next to that, I think Red Sonja with Bridget Nielsen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Barbara, this is not your Christmas list here.
Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. I mean, it had two people who couldn't act. You know, I mean, granted, Arnold has gotten better over the years, but Arnold and Bridget Nielsen, I mean, it was just painful to watch. And she had this 80s punk style hairdo.
Yeah.
You know, it was not the big luxurious red curly locks that Red Sonja was supposed to have, and it was just painful to watch.
Well, it was the 80s.
What else do you want for Christmas, Barbara? So we got Red Sonja we need to get you. We got Howard the Duck. If you need anything else on your Christmas list, you just add it on, okay?
Well, I've got more on the list, but I'll let somebody else take a turn now.
So hold on now. Let's hang on to Howard the Duck for a minute here.
Okay.
So
I've not seen Howard the Duck, I'm afraid.
Oh,
you should. It's
so
actually, I
fortunate.
thought it was decent.
So
I'll see if I can find it on Netflix.
It's a cult classic.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is a cult classic.
People argue because it's so bad, they say it's good. You know.
Well, kind of like Plan 9 from Outer Space, right?
Yeah, exactly. People, it's so kitschy that the people just like it. But I never did.
See, I don't think I would put it in the worst because of John, help me out. Who was the actress that played along with Howard?
Jeez,
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Leah Thompson.
Yeah,
Leah Thompson. Yeah.
Leah Thompson. That's right. I thought it was okay.
So,
yeah, never
she
mind.
can actually act.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. You know, this was a long time ago, but so. You know, I have a lot of forgiveness for the project because Leah Thompson, right? She was in it, and so she was easy to look at in the movie.
Okay, so you're looking at it from a man's perspective. I'm looking at it from a purely artistic and like.
You don't feel drawn to Howard the Duck?
No. And you know,
I mean, Leah Thompson was.
I heard a rumor that if you look really, really closely at the big battle scene in Avengers Endgame, you know, where everybody's coming through the portals, that somewhere in there, Howard the Duck is there. But I haven't found him yet.
Yeah, he's there.
He's there.
He is
CGI.
I have looked and looked and looked, and I have not been able to find him in there. But I was looking just because I thought it was hilarious because they were throwing all kinds of Marvel people in the backgrounds there. That was,
and like Tim Robbins was in that too. The guy who started Shawshank Redemption. And Tim Robbins is a great actor, and you see him in that, and you're like, "Wait, what?" It's like, what is Tim Robbins doing? Howard the Duck? You got to start somewhere, I guess, right?
He was the comedy relief.
Yeah, that's right. He was.
Nita Lanning said Howard the Duck was C. Michael's worst one too. So, okay, so who's next?
Are we talking about bad ones?
Yes, bad ones.
Well, Catwoman.
Agreed.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Catwoman. What else? What else was really bad? Oh, the most recent Fantastic Four.
Oh my gosh, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was horrible.
So hold on now. So before we just start listing bad ones, try to think of which one was the worst of all, right? One or two. Which is the worst one of all?
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
I actually go as far as saying Steel was worse than Catwoman.
Which one?
Oh, Steel. Cool. That's going back a bit. Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
The only thing
Barry can halfway act.
I will admit, though, I didn't like any of the Fantastic Four movies, but I did kind of like the way they did the Silver Surfer in certain scenes. Some of the stuff they did.
Oh yeah.
Like when he would like go through his board and go upside down. Like, well, that's kind of cool.
No. That wasn't the most recent.
That's not the most recent one, though, is it? The most recent one was with.
Okay, yeah,
what's his
that's
name
right.
from Black Panther?
Michael B.
Oh,
Jordan.
that's right.
Yes, right.
Yeah. See, now I thought the worst Fantastic Four movie was the one with Ian Gruffudd and Jessica Alba,
Oh no,
Chris
no,
Evans,
no.
and Michael
Oh,
Chiklis.
No,
They made two of those, didn't they? Yeah, they made two.
Yeah, they did two of those.
I would.
First of all, it's got Jessica Alba in it, so it's not
There you
bad.
go. See, Pete, I'm telling you. Yes,
I'll
he's
say
right.
it. I'll say it. Everyone's
Yeah,
thinking it. I'll
you're
say
right.
But all right. I don't think they did
And it
very
had
good.
America's ass.
Yeah, there you go. But it didn't do a very good job with the thing. I mean, he was just clunky, and I think they would have been better if it was mostly CGI. But it was kind of awkward.
I just like how Barbara's being voted out by hotness of women. Is the movie bad? Well, really hot lady in it, so.
Forget the cinematography. Forget the plot. Look at the women.
Listen,
women. Maybe that's what we should talk about.
I've heard Barb talking about male eye candy as well.
Oh,
I have heard her saying,
wait till we get to my favorites list.
I have heard her saying, "Oh, I don't care about that movie. I just wanted to look at him." I've heard that now, so I don't feel bad.
You know who I'm going to talk about on the best list.
I think I do, but yeah. I would agree with the Fantastic Four there. I think that was pretty bad. So all right. So who else? Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
All the X-Men movies.
Really?
What? Horrible.
Shots fired.
Hey, that's okay, man. I said the same thing about the Marvel Universe.
No,
Really?
it gave us Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. No.
Yeah.
No. You mean the Wolverine who was ready to do song and dance? You mean Pretty Boy Wolverine, right? 'Cause that's what he
If I
was.
can like the Fantastic Four for Jessica Alba, I can like the X-Men for Hugh Jackman. That's
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was cut like hell.
Also had
He
Patrick
wasn't
Stewart.
cut until
Nothing he does is bad.
down the line.
Nothing
will
Patrick
admit the
Stewart does is bad.
Yeah.
That's true.
The X-Men movies were a mixed bag for me. I liked them, and then I didn't like them. It's one of those things like I'll watch them, but then I never come back like really satisfied. Yeah, this stuff.
Yeah.
They started bad and they got worse.
Well, they brought in some things from the comics I just thought was stupid. One is the bone claws. I hated the bone claws.
I did too.
Could not believe that. When they brought him into the movie, I'm like, why? Why would you do this?
So here's the
I
thing,
like
though.
Uncle Thing.
But here are my thoughts, though. All right, so I have a lot of problems with the X-Men, but I wouldn't put it in the bottom 10 movies.
No, not at all.
What about New Mutants?
Oh my God! Have you seen
I've not seen it yet.
Oh my
I was not
gosh!
happy with New Mutants.
I saw it. I thought it was pretty terrible. Yeah.
Oh.
And it's far worse than the X-Men movie. And the thing about it is, they had so much potential. You know, you look at it and they're like, you could do this, you could do these things, and they never did it. They didn't do any of this stuff. So disappointing with that.
What
I
do you
understand
expect
why
out
they
of
delayed it.
Fox?
Well, I understand why they delayed it for like 2 years now.
What do you expect out of
Yeah. So I think that's the problem I have with the X-Men movies and the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four movies. I wouldn't put them.
That's what they're called as well. They're Jessica Alba. That's when I searched for it on Netflix. I started Jessica Alba.
But I have problems with them. But I don't know that I would put them even in like the bottom 10.
Yeah.
We'll even go Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah.
I say the same thing. Yeah, I say the same thing. It's like I have problems, but
I still think the funniest scene I saw in that Ben Affleck Daredevil. It took me a few times. It was on TV, and then the second or third time I saw it, I'm like, that's not possible. He jumped from like a building across it looked like a 3 or 4 lane freeway. Like he jumped across the street midair, so he ran out of the building, jumped, and I'm like, nobody can jump that far. Like he's flying. I mean, even at an angle, I'm like, I know it's a superhero movie, but that was like, okay, that's stretching the logic just a little bit for me.
Cassisi says that he agrees and he thinks that was the worst Fantastic Four. X-Men were horrible.
Whoa,
Ben,
whoa, whoa,
Ben
whoa,
Affleck's
whoa.
Daredevil was the
Whoa.
worst.
I once said that. Oh.
Yeah, hey, we said nice things about Cassisi earlier, right? Now what's he doing?
Yeah.
Steve Halsey says the 1994 Fantastic Four. Has anybody seen that?
I've not ever seen it, but I've heard about it.
About the one that went straight to video.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so no. I'm talking about the one that was made and was never released.
Yeah.
As proof that they could make one. You know how I saw it? You're gonna laugh at this. Mike Barr. Mike Barr. I don't know where he got his copy. Mike Barr had a VHS copy of it. When the whole Malibu stuff was going on, and he loaned his copy to me to watch, and it was terrible. If that movie had been released, it would easily be in my bottom 5.
Oh, the best was Mr. Fantastic.
Ugh.
Like they have a cutaway of Mr. Fantastic, so instead of him like showing his arm grow, it would be like him looking at something, and then he'd reach for it, and they cut away to an arm stretching, and then they cut to the wide shot where he's holding something. Oh, it was so painful.
And the Human Torch did not flame on until the very last scene. You go an hour in. You go an hour and like 45 minutes, and it wasn't until the last scene that he burst into flame, and it looked so terrible.
I still remember there was I think it was Venture Brothers that did an episode making fun of the Fantastic Four, and they had like the Human Torch, and he was in a chamber, like somebody was giving him a tour. He's like, yeah, this is the Human Torch guy, and he's in this chamber, this oxygen deprived chamber. Well, why do you keep him in there? I mean, why? And they like open the chamber and burst into flames and start screaming. And they closed it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah, Cassisi says the interpretation of Bullseye from Affleck's Daredevil. I don't know. I like the dude. Who's the actor?
Colin
Farrell. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good.
No, I didn't like the lady played Elektra.
I was going to say that is like, oh my
Jennifer
God, worst.
Jennifer.
They can never get Elektra.
Jennifer Garner played
Yeah.
Elektra. Yeah, that was here.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell is a very iffy actor. He can be good at some times, and he can be bad at times.
Ben
I think he
Affleck?
swings for the fences. Colin Farrell, like, he swings for the fences, right? Like if he, he kind of hams it up.
I did particularly like that part on where when he's on the plane and he flicks that thing and chokes the old lady.
Yeah.
Annoying him.
Kills her with
I
the
like
peanut.
that. That's what I like this guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah. Again, I hear the problems with them, but I don't think that the Daredevil would make my bottom 10 list.
Well, see, I have my criteria. I have before the Dark Knight and the MCU, and then after, and that's how I judge my movies. Like the reason that, because
It's almost like pre and post crisis DC, right?
Yeah. But there's that horrible excuse people give for people who have, personal issues to say, "Oh, he was a man of his time." And I kind of feel that about like bad comic book movies. Like, if it's before MCU and the Dark Knight series, I go, it's a movie of its time. Afterwards, you kind of should know better, right? Because now we've seen how it should be done.
Yeah.
So Fantastic Four gets the downvote on me.
But see, I like this costume better than the Netflix costume.
Well, costume's one thing, right? Yeah.
I like the Netflix Daredevil better than the movie. I
have to say, most of the Punisher movies, I'm going to say, I think almost all of them. Punisher Warzone was not a good movie, but it was the closest to the character that I think I saw. And I still can't figure and it baffles me. I'm like, Hollywood could do Man with Gun. I mean, they do John Wick, Die Hard. I mean, Man with Gun's easy. They've done it for years. Man with Gun with Skull, they can't figure this out.
Yeah,
exactly. Once you add the skull, it just falls apart. They just can't figure this out. And I saw the Thomas Jane one, and he had like this elaborate plan for revenge. And I'm like, look, he just kills people. All right, he just kills bad guys. He's very simple. He doesn't have to be this guy plotting a master plan to destroy whatever. And it was just like, that's why Warzone had a few scenes in it where he was actually going around blowing up bad guys. Like, that seems like the Punisher. And then he would start talking. Okay, now that's bad. Okay, so but there were certain scenes in that I thought were well done, but overall it was not a good.
I actually really like the Tom Jane Punisher, just because it's.
See, some people do.
I like Thomas Jane, and I think I
think he's a good actor. It was just I just never, and I tried to watch the new Netflix Punisher, and again they started going like, well, actually his, I think his like family was killed part of a government conspiracy or something. I'm like, no, that's stupid. See, you just quit, change it. He's the simplest character. And they keep wanting to like make it this complex plot, and I'm like, no.
Quit on me.
Yeah, I always wanted to see
her iPad quit.
No, go ahead.
I always wanted to see a John Woo directed Punisher. That's what I would like to see. Like all the crazy gunplay, but have John Woo directed. Wow.
That would
I find it interesting that there's a lot of actors who repeatedly pop up in comic book movies, and some of them they do really bad in. And some of them they do really good. Ben Affleck in Daredevil, then he played Batman, which is great.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans in Fantastic Four, and Chris Evans as Captain America. And then there's Josh Brolin, who did Jonah Hex.
Oh,
that's right, he did.
And Thanos, so it's like...
Yeah. It almost seems like
a bad Tarantino movie.
Yeah. Certain roles were like made for him. Ben Affleck just looks like a rich, pretty boy, so he played the Bruce Wayne character. Great. He doesn't look like the Daredevil, the great gritty. He just, and
he looks more gritty than George Clooney.
Yeah. He does. I don't know. He played the fight scene in Batman vs Superman. Regardless of what you think of the movie, when they did the fight scene, the way they had him fight as Batman, that's how I always imagined him. Like he's just a force of nature. This guy is just absolutely like a force of nature just coming through that. I'm like, that was, at least to me, I was like, that's how I always imagined him fighting.
So
I think he's an excellent Batman.
Yeah. Curtis Cassisi says that's a fair criteria. You're judging based on the pre and post. Eric Dodson says, okay, this is he addresses it to me, but I'm gonna toss it to all of you. He says, what are your thoughts on the Nightman TV series?
I don't know that.
Time.
It's okay, Pete. That is not one I'm going to suggest you go out and look for.
Yeah, I mean, being a Malibu employee at the time,
we knew it was not great.
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing a picture of it. I never watched it, but I think I remember seeing a picture of it in the big red freaking lens eye.
I watched a couple of episodes and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that was kind of me. I watched a couple episodes and I'm like, oh, I can't watch anymore.
Yeah, it was painful.
Curtis?
Yeah, like I said, that falls into the category of its time, So, but seriously, I mean, I remember watching things that were not comic book related. If there was just a glimpse of a comic book, like I remember there was this movie, Adventures in Babysitting, with Elizabeth Hughes, and Vincent D'Onofrio was in it. Yeah, and he appeared as a Thor-like figure.
Yes.
And that was enough. It was like, oh my gosh, they said Thor, and they drew an image that looks like it. That was enough for me. That was a big take,
Yeah.
So, of its time.
Yeah,
I feel so sorry for the Nordic people sometimes. They're never going to get Thor back. He's always going to be a Marvel character. He'll never be like, he was our god. He was... No, they just kind of put their hands up. I actually heard. It was unbelievable. This, to me, was like, I actually was shaking my head. I'm sitting in the theater. We're about to watch either Thor or one of the Marvel movies that starred Thor. And the two people in front of me, one guy goes to the other guy. It's like, Thor is like the worst character Marvel's made. And I'm like, what? Like, Marvel didn't, what? And I just shaking my head. I'm like, that's a sad commentary in our times.
Actually, just wait until God of War Ragnarok comes out, and that's going to help save Thor a little bit.
I got one for you, Aaron. When I saw Titanic with my brother, we were in the theater in line, and this boyfriend and girlfriend in front of us, and she goes, "Gosh, I heard this is going to be a sad movie," and the boyfriend goes, "Yeah, it's too bad everybody dies." And she punches him on his shoulder, and she goes, "You jerk! You ruined the movie for me."
No way.
Oh man, that's just
Well, Peter, you never told us your worst comic books, did you?
Yeah, he listed them off. Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. You did.
The later Batman. What'd you guys think of the Joel Schumacher Batman movies? I didn't like them, but I know some people actually do like them. I thought they were horrible.
Do you mean the George Clooney one?
Yeah.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger and
As Mr. Freeze?
and Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. The Riddler.
That's rough.
That was
That was
painful
rough.
too. And there was no, that was Val Kilmer that had the
Bat nipples.
Val
the
Kilmer, Batman Forever.
Okay.
Had Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey and Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hi, Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, that was Val Kilmer.
Chris O'Donnell.
George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman.
And Alicia Silverstone played Batwoman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I don't mind those. I don't love them, but I don't look at them and think, oh, this is the worst Batman ever made. You know?
Oh, the George Clooney one was the worst one ever made. That right there was horrible.
Yeah, he admits that as well. That's fine.
Well, especially because George Clooney at the time when he talked, he always did this with his head. I don't know if you remember that. And so you'd see him as Bruce Wayne, and he'd go, "I'm Bruce Wayne," and then he'd come up and "I'm Batman," you know. And then you just go, "How can you not?" You know?
So
No, I'm not ever gonna not see that.
Yeah, right. It's like, you know.
So have any of you seen Bat Thumb? Would that be considered live action?
Oh man.
Oh,
I mean, it's thumbs, right?
Yeah.
So who else seen it? Curtis, you've seen it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Aaron?
No, I've never seen it.
What? Just me and Curtis?
All right.
We have homework to do.
What the heck? Yeah.
I guess it would be a live action, technically, you know. So.
Anybody have a guilty pleasure movie? One that everyone thinks is so bad, but they watch it and then it's just like.
Hold on to that question. Question. So I'll forget it. So remind me. So Roberta, what about you?
Well, you guys already stole it. I was going to say Electra. It just made me angry.
Which one?
Electra.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And that's because I loved Electra. And I don't know. They got her costume right. I'll give it that. That's right. That's
they did get her
literally
costume
about
right.
it. It was bad acted. It was bad plot. It was bad direction. I mean, there wasn't anything that I thought was any good.
Bad
It
action.
was boring. It was just very boring.
It
I'm
really
surprised
was.
nobody has mentioned the Captain America movie. Not the new one, but the one with the fake ears.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I remember watching that as a kid and thought it was cool, so it's still cool.
Yeah, I did too. Now, but I did realize even it's like, what's wrong with his ears? Like, I couldn't figure that out.
I never noticed it as a kid. I was like, yeah, no, it's normal.
And I'm surprised nobody has mentioned Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, because it's the Hoff.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You have it signed. Oh, you did. Look at that.
That's funny.
So you signed it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Look at
That
that.
is cool.
Yeah.
That
So
is awesome.
so the story of how I got this though. I also have one.
You
signed
camped
by-
outside his house for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And
I also have.
She was waiting in the bushes.
I actually liked. Oh well, shoot! I made the thing go away. I actually like this one better.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So the way I got the Red Brown one, the Captain America one, he actually there we go. He actually is a I don't know if I can say this. He's a okay. I can say this. He visits a friend of mine, hit their business, and their business in the business. He was telling him, he goes, "Oh, a friend of mine, works in comics." He says, "I'll bring him a picture," and so he brought a picture and signed it and gave it to my friend, and my
What a
friend gave it
guy.
to me. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
what a guy.
As a matter of fact, I will tell you, Pete is drawing a kind of looks like this friend in the comics.
He does. Yeah, I've noticed that now. You should have just said, and I'd have pulled up a picture. I just made sure he definitely looked like him.
Okay, so anyway, I'm not sure how we got on the. Oh, Captain America, yeah.
If I could throw one more.
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead,
go ahead.
Curtis.
Yeah, so this one is like under that category of I'll watch it because I love the character, but I hate the film, is the 2000 like something Green Hornet movie.
Yeah.
I mean again like Aaron was saying, I mean it's a guy in a trench coat with a mask and his sidekick, no powers. They're basically crime fighters and gangsters. I mean, it's so easy to do right, and they
made Brett stupid.
Yeah, and
He made Brett an idiot.
And the thing is it's like, to me, that's obviously one of those instances where they want their own movie that they have in mind, and they use this license as a vehicle to push that, and just go make a different movie, It's
I used to ink the Green Hornet series back in the day, so I was really interested to see it. And I'm like, this is not Brett. He's not a complete idiot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was a shame. That's probably one of the worst ones, just because they should know better. It's after that era, and also it's such a great character, and they just ruined it.
Yeah,
that's mine.
I agree.
Yeah.
Who had Wubba?
Yo.
What about you?
The newest Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That was just worse because it looked really good in the previews. When it got released, it was like, oh.
Yeah, that was definitely a trick because I thought so too. I was like, well, this actually looks pretty good in the previews, and then don't watch it.
Yeah, the previews was the only good part of that whole movie.
Ouch.
Other than that, then Catwoman.
Yeah. Catwoman.
It was just dread awful.
I've heard.
Halle Berry couldn't even save that. That's just.
I know. That costume, she says she was so proud she said I designed that costume, and I'm like, and it shows.
Yeah.
With her eyes closed.
I know.
Have you guys ever heard that one of the lines that I hate, that if you watch a lot of the Hollywood press junkets that they often use, is they'll say something like, there's a cat, I learned in my life that there's a Catwoman in every woman. They'll always say something like that. I've seen them use that same line so many times, and then there'll be the next movie, like I saw when they did the Jungle Book movie. The guy goes, "There's a Mowgli in everybody." I hate that. I hate that line.
Kasisi says, he said the Flash pick is awesome, and he said Hollywood has a very difficult time with Dr. Doom.
Yes.
No, that's another guy, just like the Punisher, they can't get right. Look, man, Iron Mask, be tyrannical. You've done this 1,000 times, but they just can't do it.
So I have a problem with with Hollywood they're afraid of the costumes. It seems like.
Yeah.
It's like we have this cool character, but we're really afraid to put Superman in red and blue. So we're gonna make it kind of like a wine and like a navy, right? And that's just one example, but it's like all of the heroes, because a lot of them have primary colors, but all of the heroes they have to do something to their costumes, and I don't get why they're so afraid of the costumes. I mean, my favorite, like in the recent Spider-Man with Mysterio. My favorite segment of that movie is when he's in the traditional red and blue costume, I'm like, I like that. Stick with it. I don't like the spider armor iron thing. I don't like that at all.
Yes,
I never.
Think of the toys. Think of the toys.
Well,
sell the toys.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
And that's
You're right.
the truth, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, it is.
They can sell more toys.
I mean, the new Marvel movie. Oh, go ahead,
birthday,
Curtis. Me and you are perfect.
No,
Just synchronized.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Go for it.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe has gotten close to representing the most accurate on screen.
Yeah.
But still, some don't work. Like I rewatched I saw the Avengers on TV and had the Captain America. It was still there, but that costume didn't. Chris Evans kind of looked like a dork in that costume. I don't know. Something about that didn't work. The very first
Avengers. About the military one?
No. The very first Avengers movie.
Oh, okay.
Where he was in the that costume didn't work for me. But later on, they kind of changed it. And Captain America always looks better to me if he has some sort of military gear or some sort of, like my World War II one's the favorite. Thor they kind of get at, but they're the ones that have gotten the closest. But they still a little bit stray from just putting the straight costume on the screen.
Yeah.
Like again, the Captain America. Even when they put that one on there, it wasn't exactly the Captain America costume. They changed it. They always have to mess with it in some way.
And I think this is one of the reasons that character like Iron Man works so well.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's in a suit of armor. Well, you know what? In the comic book, he's also in a suit of armor. So they don't really change that, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. His armors are awesome.
Yeah, and of course, I know you were slobbering over Tony Stark, but... Cassisi says...
top movie is.
Yeah. Cassisi says, I think there's a fear of going back to the Batman movie that failed. It nearly ruined the market. So I think anything campy is feared, or anything interpreted as campy, which might be the really primary costumes. But
I can see that.
I guess so. But it's one of the things that for me, my personal thoughts are, look, if you think the property is worth investing money in as a license, why would you want to go in and change it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Have you guys ever come across the costume where they redesigned and you thought it actually looked kind of better than the comic?
I like the Captain America First Avenger movie, like how they kind of World War II it up. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite of his. And the one that I actually I thought was a smart design was the redesigned Wonder Woman, because they added more of her Greek heritage into it with the gleaves and stuff. I'm like that works, but that was smart design. But they were paying attention to the character. It wasn't just a random design. They were paying attention to what was going into that. So there's been a few.
So has there ever been? So here's a question before we move on to the next part of it. So has there ever been one of these movies? And I don't just mean any movie. I mean a comic adaptation movie. Has there ever been one that's so bad that you walked out?
No.
No.
Because I paid to be there.
Yeah.
Because you're going to sit and watch a train wreck. You're going to watch it to the very end.
There was one that I wanted to get up and walk out, but it would have been too embarrassing. And I know most people don't even associate this with comics, but it has had comic books, and that was The Lone Ranger with Armie Hammer and Johnny Depp.
Oh, you didn't like that one?
I thought the character of Tonto was so butchered that it was actually embarrassing, and it made me uncomfortable.
Well, it's kind of like that was Johnny Depp being Johnny Depp in the place of Tonto, right? You know,
it's not Tonto, it's Johnny Depp.
Little cocaine,
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's a fair assessment since that Lone Ranger is the ancestor of Green Hornet, right? So there's a correlation. They just can't seem to get those two right, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I was going in, and I was going in thinking that this was going to be a great movie. Oh, Johnny Depp, he's going to really, do justice to this. And it was like, oh, you turned him into kind of a weirdo. I don't know. It just was. It was
they wanted Jack Sparrow, didn't they? They wanted Jack Sparrow.
Yes. Yeah. We had a Tonto Jack Sparrow. So yeah.
See that.
I really didn't like Green Lantern. I don't know how you.
Well, that's
that was pretty unwatchable.
Yeah. See, I put that one also in the category of I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
Well, see, that was my guilty pleasure was Green Lantern.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the guilt. That was the question I was asking. Any guilty pleasure where there's a movie that everyone doesn't like, but you secretly watch it when no one's around.
So Barb's is Green Lantern. Why, Barb?
Yeah.
I really like Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. I just like anything he does. He's brilliant.
I think Go ahead, Curtis.
No, my guilty pleasure, and please forgive me for this, and it's not comic book, is Problem Child 1 and Problem Child 2. Those are my guilty pleasure movies. And my wife hates it, but it's so stupid. I love it. It's Problem Child 1 and 2.
I don't guess I know those.
You should. Nobody should.
I think I have two. I have, strangely enough, the Transformer movies. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. It's Shia LaBeouf in those movies drives me nuts, but some of the robots are cool. It's a very mixed bag. And then the Ghost Rider. I like Nick Cage.
And all the vapid women, they're just like.
I know. It just drives you nuts, and it's just like all the woman eye candy. I mean, I think they started one of them with like, I think the first shot was just like right in this girl's butt and her underwear walking up the stairs, and I'm like, God, come on, So it's.
Does she have pillow lips? She's in.
I know. Yeah. It's Michael Bay is one of those. He's definitely he can make the robots do all cool stuff, but never again gets back to the humans. Like I said,
Go ahead.
Oh, the Ghost Rider movies. Very guilty
Nicolas
pleasure.
Cage?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who was
I
talking
just like
about
Nicolas
that? The director that had the foot fetish thing.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah, okay, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. His last movie was like foot crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I haven't watched one since we talked about it, but I've been thinking about that ever since you said it. Like, I gotta look for feet in the next Quentin Tarantino movie.
That makes sense because I'm thinking now you said that, I'm thinking of all these different scenes having to do with feet.
Cassisi said that.
Thanks, Curtis.
The first Incredible Hulk with Eric Bana was pretty horrible.
Oh yeah, but I thought the directing was really cool on that because he made it look like comic panels throughout the whole thing. I thought it was really cool.
That's what I liked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it just was a bit blah. The big
it was
fight
one
at the
of
end
those
that.
Yeah, it was a mixed bag for me. But the fact that he tried to cut it up, the editing, the way he did it, it was cool.
I'll still watch that if it's on TV.
Yeah, I'm like that too. If it's on TV, I'm like, okay. I will admit that the second Ghost Rider, the way they actually did the Ghost Rider is probably the best I've seen. Where they actually, instead of like just flame, it was like this billowing smoke. Like he was just like an inferno. I'm like, that was really cool. But that was the same director who also did Crank. And if you've seen any of the Crank movies, those movies are off the wall. So yeah.
Totally.
So I've noticed that nobody mentioned any television shows at all.
I did. No, wait a minute. Wasn't the Hoff? Wasn't that one a television movie?
I guess I was talking more about the TV shows.
Oh, TV. Well, there's always the Incredible Hulk with the Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, but you thought that was bad?
That wasn't a bad one. I don't think.
I think that falls under the Vegeta movies, the Vegeta rule.
My rule, that's what it's called?
Vegeta rule.
The Vegeta principle is what
okay, Vegeta principle. If you watch it under today's standards, and but realizing that it was made in the 70s, I think that's pretty good.
It's funny. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're talking movies, TV shows. I don't watch a lot of the TV shows. The ones I tried to watch S.H.I.E.L.D. It was okay. It didn't really.
I enjoyed S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
Yeah, some people really do. That was a mixed bag for me. I'm not a big fan of the CW stuff. Even though all the superhero stuff is great, it's still CW, and I don't. It's like trying to escape that everyone's beautiful. Everything's high drama. It's just CW.
It's for teenagers.
It is. It's just like and people you got to watch The Flash. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like Melrose Place. It's like every other CW show, and I can't get by it.
Everything's very emo because it's geared towards teens.
Yeah.
But I like the shows. I like the shows. I like The Flash.
Yeah.
Because I tried to watch Arrow.
Yeah.
And then I got 2 seasons into it. It was okay. But I'm a big fan of Supernatural. And that's CW. And I don't know why. I don't know how Supernatural, why that's different. Like, I'm like, CW, see what you did there? Try to copy that more, because every other show yours always mixes into the same emo drama and stuff. So
I'm a huge Supernatural fan, too.
Yeah.
I will say the best thing about the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show was when they brought Robbie Ray's Ghost Rider in.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's mentioned Swamp Thing.
Well, I was going to say, are you talking about the film or the recent TV show?
No, I haven't seen the recent TV show, so
that's excellent.
Well, that's what I've heard. I haven't seen that, but you got to pay for the special Warner Brothers thing, and I don't do that. No, I thought the film was would make my bottom 5.
That was that Heather Locklear? Was she the?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I enjoyed those movies.
It's funny because I thought it was amazing back then, and now I look at it, you clearly, like, I know there's a rubber suit, but my God, now it really does look like a rubber suit.
See, I was thinking I hadn't seen it, but then when you said Heather Locklear, I remember I have seen it, so it must have been so forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I did see that.
So anybody have any other? Eric Dodson said Dennis the Menace.
Okay.
Oh, there was a
Yeah.
film, Dennis. That's right.
Yeah. An Incredible Hulk had a guest appearance of Thor and Daredevil. Yeah,
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah. Adrienne
remember-
Barbeau must have been the one who was in Swamp Thing.
I like some of the Marvel Netflix series. Like I like the first season of like Daredevil.
Yeah.
And but then they all just started kind of going down. I don't know. I started kind of losing track of them, and they're going downhill. They just I don't know. It became too much.
I'll be honest with you. I find that's my opinion about most of the superhero TV shows.
Yeah.
Like I know you said you don't like anything on the CW, but now I like the first couple of seasons of the Arrow and the Flash.
Yeah,
But after
yeah.
that, it's just like, yeah, okay. Now there's the Flash family, and I'm like,
It
no.
starts becoming about other people other than the Flash.
Yeah.
That's what I sort of
Yeah.
found. But yeah,
Yeah.
you just got to stick with them. But the Netflix ones, I thought Daredevil.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done.
I would like to see a better costume, but
Yeah.
but it's so well done, I can ignore that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
season one, I know Aaron didn't like it. I thought the Punisher, he's the best Punisher they've got.
He looks like it. And
Yeah.
I tried watching that Punisher series, and I just something about it couldn't get it. I think it's when he started torturing people. Which maybe is more in line with the Punisher, but I don't know. That goes back to movies like the Game of Thrones. Every time I get into these shows where they start torturing people, or like it's all about like the gory, like the money shot, that's a big turnoff for me. So, and I think that's when I started losing a little bit with the Punisher. But I thought the guy who played the Punisher looked like him. I thought he was a really good person as a lookalike for that character.
Yeah. Eric said Heather was in Swamp Thing too. It was Adrienne Barbeau in the first Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he said, Cassisi says the first Bullseye versus Daredevil fight in the Netflix version was amazing, and he also thinks the Netflix Punisher was amazing too.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any guilty pleasures before we go on to the ones we like?
Just a Swamp Thing that you were just talking about.
Wait, you say the Swamp Thing is your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, the original
Really?
TV series and those movies. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I've always been a big Swamp Thing fan. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Sorry about that.
Sorry about
Okay. Well, so all right. Now that we got the bad ones out of our system, what do you think? What would you say is the best comic to film adaptation, or maybe not the best because that's all subjective. But for you, what do you think did it? As far as the adaptation from comic to film.
Captain America: Winter Soldier is an incredibly good film.
Amen. Exactly.
I agree.
Really good film.
I
And
hate to
it's not
say-
just because it's got Scarlett Johansson in it this time. It's because it's actually a really good film.
The first Iron Man was too.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. My top number one.
That one, because you saw that when you were like, "Holy crap, he does look like Tony Stark."
He does.
That was inspired. I mean, it was just the whole backstory, the way they did it, and it had so much funny bits in it too that were humorous. Like the robots. He was like, "I'm going to donate you to community college," and it's his first test, and he goes flying out up and hits the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a lot of funny bits in it too, and I thought it was just brilliant.
Well, yeah, and I think one of the things about that, is they were able to capture. So I think my biggest problem for a lot of these movies that we talked about are no good is that they don't respect the property. They don't really respect the character, or they're like, okay, well, yeah, I get that it's Superman, but I don't like, I'm gonna fix this, right? And I don't. I think a lot of the ones that are bad are directed by people who think, well, this is okay, but I'm gonna fix these problems. And I think you look at Iron Man. The only real change that I see they made was instead of Vietnam, he was in. It was a more modern war.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
But they made him a very real person, which was very appealing.
Yeah, but I think it's very true to the original Iron Man.
I think another movie that was really, really true to the material was The Crow.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
That was great.
yes, that is in my
That was so
top
good.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Crow was really, and they talked about remaking The Crow, and I'm like, if they made a straight adaptation of the comic, maybe, but I don't think it. My favorite one was probably the movie Dredd, because I'm a big Judge Dredd
Oh,
fan. And
Dredd
so,
was amazing. Yeah.
yeah, to get that, I was like, and just the capture, especially the 2 lines at the end of the movie when he goes through hell and back, and
is this
it's
the one
like
with Rambo?
No, this is the
No,
one with
no.
Carl Urban. If you've never seen Dredd, if you've never seen it, go see
Oh
it.
yeah, okay, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
It's another series I worked on right away.
yeah.
I think all of the Avenger movies were awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was gonna say I figure mine would probably get some groans, but for me it's
Flash Gordon.
no. No, for me it's the Age of Ultron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
And that's because and my reasoning is because the Vision has been my all-time favorite hero. Vision and Spider-Man. Ever since I saw Englehart and Perez tackle him in the Avengers. Now I had some issues with the Vision, the way they handled him there, but I thought the spirit of the movie captured the spirit of all the characters. And I thought it was done. I thought it was done very, very well. That made me all misty, nostalgic kind of thing.
Yeah. My only problem with that one was the way they handled Ultron. Because I liked Ultron, and I didn't like the fact that he was like this snarky guy. I just liked him better in the comics when he was like, "All humans must die," just like that overlord. That was my favorite. But that was just, and that's just my. That's just kind of my. And now I'm not even gonna pick on Marvel. That's just the way a lot of superhero movies, they'll make the bad guy like snarky or goofy, and I kind of wish
they also made him the fault of Bruce Banner and Tony Stark instead of Hank Pym.
Yeah.
I
mean, that was the same, and they take it a lot. I mean, what do you got? Did it ever bother you that they took out Tony Stark's alcoholism? I mean, you knew they had to if it was Disney, but do you think that was because that was such a major part of his character?
Well, they touched on it in part 2.
Yeah,
they hinted at it.
They touched on it, yeah.
They hint at it quite a bit, but they don't. Yeah, they didn't. Except for the one scene at the party where he's
drunk.
peeing in his suit. They really didn't show him drunk.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know with those type of movies, that's not where you can handle it. But I mean, and I'm not just picking on that. I mean, there's other movies that people have taken out certain things that I thought were defining moments of the character. I mean, even they switched to Ant-Man, but I mean, I liked Hank Pyme's like alter personalities and and the stuff and the wife abuse. I mean, the domestic abuse between the two and a lot of the books is interesting. I know they can't do so. There's a lot of serious topics they covered they took out of the movie just because Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make a family-oriented movie and have them. And sometimes it bothers me because it kind of gives that music gives those characters a little bit of depth, but gives them their flaws outside of their human flaws. And that was and I'm not picking. I mean DC and all of them they do that too. They kind of take out some of the flaws that have been built in those characters.
Yeah, and I don't like the character that's too perfect.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I want those flaws in there.
Yeah. Eric Dodson says he liked Mystery Men.
Oh,
yeah,
that
was
pretty good. That was good.
That was a good one.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that was a good one. Although here's my problem with Guardians of the Galaxy. That's not my Guardians.
That's kind of the common argument,
Yeah, I mean, I thought the movie was very good. I enjoyed it. I would go see the next one if it came out tomorrow. But I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's not really my Guardians of the Galaxy. In the same way that the Netflix teen group.
The Teen Titans?
No. Daredevil and Power Man.
Oh, the Defenders?
Defenders. That's not my Defenders. My Defenders are Doctor Strange, Hulk, Submariner. Those are my Defenders. So,
see, I think when a movie succeeds is when it cannot be your version of it, but you still like it. Like Into the Spider-Verse. I had a friend tell me,
Yeah.
that's not my Spider-Man. It wasn't my Spider-Man either, but I liked the movie.
Yes,
You know?
it was
So-
well done.
Yeah.
So I don't think that the flaw is necessarily that it's not an accurate adaptation as much as there were flaws in it that made you focus on that aspect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but I was gonna say I agree with Pete on the Winter Soldier, but I also feel like Winter Soldier works because of First Avenger. Some people I know don't like First Avenger, but because of First Avenger being the setup and having that hopefulness and that kind of outlook from that kind of dated time period, it made Winter Soldier that much more visceral, that much more intense. You know.
How about
And,
Civil War?
Yeah,
So it was
yeah, Civil War was
Civil War,
great
that's-
too.
Yeah, but the Civil War, my problem is Captain America. Like out of all the Marvel, Captain America is like my favorite hero, and I liked Chris Evans' take on him. And by the time you got to the Civil War, I'm like, where's Captain America? Oh, he's over there. No, wait, where is he? 'Cause, like I understand, like okay, you get all the other superheroes, that's great. And it's like, yeah, but I came here to see Captain America, and he's in the background doing some stupid. I mean, it's like, look, are you trying to write this character out, or just like that movie seems really weird? I'm like, can we just focus? It's called Captain America. Can we focus on him just a little more?
Basically, it was an Avengers movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that was an Avengers movie.
That's why I kind of lost because I mean I really came to those to see Captain America. When they started kind of downplaying, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. Because I didn't have, and that's just me. I just didn't have any stake in any of the other characters. I'm like, I don't care about them. I just want to see them. So
who do you guys think was the best Spider-Man?
Strangely enough, Andrew Garfield to me looked the most like him. I know a lot of people don't like those movies, but when I saw him, I'm like, he actually looked like Peter Parker to me, and I actually thought he was funny in that one. I am probably on the minority, and like I do not like Tom Holland. I do not think he fits that character at all.
Well, I thought he was awesome as Tom.
You're so
I
right.
couldn't stand Tobey Maguire.
He's Tom Holland's the closest overall. If you actually look at
Tom Holland is brilliant.
If you actually look at all the characteristics for Peter Parker, Tom is the closest out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tobey Maguire is a good actor, but I think he was too old from the
Oh
get-go.
God, he's wrong for that part.
You know.
Let's go ahead and say right now, though, the best Superman movies were Christopher Reeve.
Oh yeah,
agreed.
Period.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
But Henry Cavill, I think, is a wonderful Superman.
Yeah, I think he does.
I think he's a good Superman. I think the problem that he has is bad scripts and directors.
And bad color schemes.
Well, yeah,
that's the Zack Snyder color scheme. Yeah.
How about the Batman movies?
I
Ben
like Christopher. Ben Affleck's my favorite. I like the Christopher Nolan movies.
Please don't tell me you like the third one.
Which one?
Okay.
The Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. Those are the
gosh.
two best ones, I think.
Yes, it was okay. I mean, it ended it like.
No, it's not. Watch it again.
Well, the funny thing is I think after the guy who played the Joker, after he died, I just think Christopher Nolan lost all heart in the movies. And he was really close to that actor, and he was supposed to be in the third one. And when he died, I've heard interviews where he's just like, it's like I didn't even want to make it. I didn't even want to be here. And so I think he phoned the third one in. And I think that was just because of that.
Oh, it's clear he phoned it in.
Yeah.
I think that's I enjoyed the first two of his trilogy, and I thought they were well done. But that last one I thought was a piece of crap. Yeah.
Oh no, you're not the only one. I mean, he definitely hit a high point in the middle.
It would probably be in my
the
bottom
better
10.
Bane out of all the Batman movies, though.
He what?
It's still the better Bane out of all the Batman movies.
The Bane was great. I think that's probably actually why I like the third one, because I like Bane. I thought he was a cool character.
Because the Joel Schumacher Bane is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
I'd say the best thing out of that movie was Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the worst bit of that film.
Yep.
Hathaway.
Yeah, Hathaway. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, look, everyone's done that. No. Not sure about that.
No, I'm saying that's how bad that movie is.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a benchmark.
Touche.
That's a low benchmark.
I have to say with the Batman casting, I've always been like, really? Like back with Michael Keaton, it was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me, Michael Keaton? And then he knocked it out the park. And then when they said Ben Affleck, I said, no way, that's ridiculous. And he knocked it out the park. So
Yeah.
with Robert, how does it bringing that up? How does
Pattinson.
everybody feel about
Robert-
Pattinson?
yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think he looks too much like the lead singer of My Chemical Romance or something. And I'm really trying to get over that. You take off the mask, and I'm like, is he going to start breaking into like emo music here? I mean, it's the hair. And I'm sure it's going to be great. I mean, this
The
is only a
trailer is
trailer.
very good, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good, but it was like you took it off, and I'm like, ugh, no, put the mask back on. Yeah, the Bruce Wayne didn't work for me.
I will tell you this: I'm willing to give him a chance.
Yeah.
You know, I'm willing to give him a chance because of the whole Michael Keaton thing. Everybody, you know, and I remember that. I remember I was one of them going, "No, Michael Keaton, no, Batman, no," and then going to see the movie, and I'm like, "Okay, you know, shut up, Roland. That actually was pretty good."
Yeah.
So I'm willing to give him a chance to see what he does.
Yeah,
I think it looks well done. If anything, I do like that sort of murder mystery or mystery they have going through the film. It's about time they kind of put that in a Batman film, the sort of a whodunit, which is kind of the crux of a detective story. I think that is good. I don't know. I just like that one trailer. What was that movie talking about? The trailer was. I think that was well, but like the trailer was better than the movie. Was that Fantastic Four? Yeah, it's a Fantastic Four movie. The trailer was better than. You know, I hope it's not that like amazing trailer movie, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. So
Tommy says the best Spider-Man. I'm not even going to read this, Tommy.
Shame, Tommy. Shame.
No, it's like he knows better. Best Spider-Man was Peter in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Well, that's animation. We're not talking about animation. That's a different day, Tommy. Silly you. So I'm going to go back to Barb's question about Spider-Man. I liked Toby, but I had some problems with what they did to the character of Spider-Man. I agree with Aaron in that I think it was Aaron that I think second guy.
Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield was too cool. Like Peter Parker's not a cool character, and Andrew Garfield he was cool.
Well,
but Tobey Maguire wasn't cool. Yeah, Tobey Maguire is a nerd. And Tom Holland looks like.
But Tobey Maguire was too old. That's why I think Tom Holland really fits the geek mold.
But I think Andrew Garfield was a really good Spider-Man. I love the quips.
Yes,
when he was
that's
Spider-Man.
what I like. I actually laughed.
Yes, he was going around smart mouthing. That's what I see Spider-Man.
Now, I have to interject. Like, I think this is kind of off topic, but one of my favorite adaptations, it's not film, but is if you guys seen the Spider-Man game for PlayStation, that is a great Peter Parker. It's phenomenal. The guy did really good, but different night. I know.
So let's go to Tom Holland then. So one of the things I like about Tom Holland, I think Tom Holland captures the character, but I absolutely cannot stand the whole Iron Man and metal spider stuff. I just do not like that at all. I think if they could get rid of that and make him Spider-Man, I think I would really, I think that movie would go up into my top 5 easily.
Well, I think Tom Holland has the physicality. I mean, he is so incredibly athletic. I don't know. He took ballet when he was younger. But I mean, he can actually do those flips. I think for one of the his auditions, they were just teasing him and say, "Oh yeah, just do a flip." And he goes, "Okay," when he flips, and it's like they're all there with their mouth hanging open, going, "He actually did it." But yeah, he's very, very physical, and he fits that whole wiry, spidery, build.
Yeah,
I think to perfection.
But I hate that they got rid of Gwen. Because
she does die in the comics, though, right? I don't want to break it down. So she had to die.
Spoiler alert!
If they hadn't killed her, I would have been a bit upset.
Yeah, well, I cried when she died in the comics too.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
I'm going to ruin it for you, but she did.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more Gwen. I think is the thing for me. Is it? I do know what happens to her, but I would have liked to have seen her stick around for a movie or two, and we didn't get to see that.
I really, really like, and most people say that these weren't made well, but I really, really like the Hellboy movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
They were cool.
And I think Ron Perlman was perfect in it. I liked the third movie, but he didn't fit. I mean, Mike Mignola said he pictured Ron Perlman as the part, and he looked it. You know, I think he was the perfect Hellboy. Too old to play him now.
In that third movie, dude, he looked like a hobo Hellboy.
Hobo
Hellboy. Looked like a vagabond Hellboy. It looked like
It's funny because Hellboy's the third one was another mixed bag. I thought they got a lot of stuff in that was more accurate because I really am like a fan of the comics, and that is one where the first two Ron Perlman, like I think the movies are good, but I don't consider him Hellboy, and that's just me, because I don't know. There's just something, and I think it's just the fact that if you take out Mike Mignola's art, to me, that you really lose something in that book, and that's just. So
wasn't there a whole group of fans that were campaigning that Perlman wasn't in it, that it wasn't a legit Hellboy movie or something like that? Didn't a bunch of them campaign?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
I
I just know that Mike had Perlman pictured in his head, and so
I saw
he did.
I saw the third one the other day, and I know everyone didn't like it. It didn't do very well. I didn't mind it. I thought some of the graphics and the fight scenes weren't up to a big budget film. I was like, why are they scrimped in this?
Yeah.
But,
the one
I like
again.
the guy. I think he's a good actor.
That was
back
written
on the
by
art.
a former Malibu guy. Did y'all know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, the most recent Hellboy movie
Mm-hmm.
was written by a former Malibu employee.
Oh, I didn't know that. Which one?
Andrew Cosby.
Oh yeah, Andrew Cosby. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yep, Andrew worked in the marketing department.
I have a great breaking news for everybody. Just since we're on the topic, Marvel just announced that they just released the trailer for the WandaVision TV series. So,
you know, see, I have a hard time getting excited about those because those are all behind paywalls that I don't pay for.
Yeah.
Oh, Disney, aren't they?
You know?
Yeah,
Disney.
I'll watch
so
it.
I don't have Disney, so I don't get to see them.
Oh, my son's got Disney, and since you can have more than one account on it, he gave us the password.
There you go. There you go.
Loving the Mandalorian.
No, it's funny. I was surprised out of the best. I think some of the best comic adaptions. Sin City, I thought was really well done.
Yeah.
Very nice.
The thing about, but still, the only thing that bothered me about Sin City is the same thing with Hellboy. Frank Miller's art is so distinct that when you put it in black and white, it just is something lost for me. And that's just me. The movie itself was great, and they did what they could. But once you make them real people, I'm like, no, I want that cartoon. I want that back.
Oh, you just reminded me of Dick Tracy, and that goes in the worst column.
Oh my goodness!
No,
that was a bad one.
That was bad. That was really
Madonna
bad.
as well, wasn't it?
Madonna and Warren Beatty.
Yeah,
I like Warren Beatty. But,
That was really bad.
So, what about Umbrella Academy? Anybody seen that?
Yes,
I really like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do really
I think
like
that's
that.
I think that's a really good adaptation.
It's got
Lock
banging
and Key
soundtracks
was
and-
too.
Lock and Key, that's a really good one. Yep.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't seen that yet.
I actually disagree with the Lock and Key. That's
I haven't seen it.
Why? I thought it was nice.
I liked Lock and Key, and I did not like that they took a lot of the horror elements out of it. That really irritated me. It's like, let's make it a fantasy show. I'm like, okay, done. I watched like at 2.5 episodes, and I was done. I was like, done. Couldn't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think Aaron's going to be one of those guys when he gets older that's going to be yelling at all the kids for looking at his lawn.
Get off!
I don't know. There's just certain things that I like, and I'm just like, it's like if Stephen King is like, we're going to make The Stand, but make The Stand family friendly. I'm like, don't do, and they did that with Lock and Key. I'm like, stop, don't. Okay.
It's just like Dark Tower. They ruined Dark Tower because they tried to squeeze everything in
Oh,
one
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
What do you folks think about like for instance, I like Watchmen, the movie because I thought it was pretty
I
good.
really
Yeah,
like
of course.
Watchmen, actually. Yeah.
But what do you guys think about it being there's that, and then there's things that are very much adaptation. Like the Watchmen movie is so close, other than Squid Game, you know. And I like it because of that.
Too
So what do
close?
you guys think?
I think it's too close.
Too close?
Maybe.
See,
too
yeah,
close.
that's some
It's like
people, yeah.
So close, it's not even. You need like it doesn't read like.
What's the point?
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
basically,
why
they
bother-
lifted it right out of the comics, is what you're saying?
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, it's
Pretty close, yeah,
verbatim.
pretty close.
And I actually did. I preferred the ending to the movie than the book because even it took me a minute to figure out the ending to the book. And the first thing I thought is when he's like, "This is going to stop, war with the aliens," and I'm like, "Yeah, but after a year or two, when the aliens don't show up, everything's going to go back to normal." So in the movie, they said, "Well, like this is overpowering God, Dr. Manhattan, watching you at all times." I'm like, "Well, that seems more like a permanent solution." That felt better, and it was still tied into all the characters in the story.
I agree. I totally agree.
I didn't watch it because I had heard that it was exactly like the comic, and I liked the comic, and so I'm like, yeah, well, if it's just like the comic, then I'm not even going to bother.
So why pay $12 a piece to get in to see the exact same thing you've already read?
I'll just reread my graphic novel.
You can't then complain about films that aren't faithful to the comic and then say, well, it's too faithful to the comic, I'm not going to go and watch it.
This topic, it's
it's a fine
it
line.
is a different medium, so it does make sense. You can't you have a character that has 1,000 different books. You can't condense it and make any sense into a movie. It has to change.
Yeah. That's a tricky argument, Roberta. I understand what you're saying because I've seen that too. Like, why watch it? Sin City was that way too. I mean, it was
it's a fine line.
And
it
also,
was
remember,
kind of
not everyone in the world. Sorry, not everyone in the world has read Watchmen.
Yeah,
like, this is for the comic fans. No one else go and see it, please.
Yes, you're right.
Well, and I think sorry.
No, go ahead, Curtis.
No, I think I can't remember which author it was, but somebody I forget which movie, but somebody said, "Well, how do you feel about Hollywood ruining your movies?" And he said something to the, "How do you feel about Hollywood ruining your books?" And he said, "My books are fine; they're on the shelf right there. They're their own thing."
Oh, that's a great answer.
Right, and so there's that fine line, right? It's like it's got to be its own thing. But I think our issue, or at least my issue, is when they take away the heart and soul of it, right?
Yes.
Like I'll be honest, the Wolverine movie, I didn't mind the Wolverine one where he goes to Japan, but it had nothing to do with the original book because the actual themes were completely remiss in that whole film. It was the setting was there was plot points, but the meaning of Wolverine and Logan dealing with the animal versus the human side, they completely took that out of the film. So,
there was the heart and soul of Wolverine,
right?
Yeah,
which they never really addressed. And I'll give you that, John. That's the one thing. The only time they even remotely kind of addressed that a little was in the Logan movie, a little bit when he first goes crazy.
It was like haphazardly done. It wasn't even done well.
I mean, that goes back to. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I was trying to explain to somebody the other day. I was like, Wolverine is not supposed to look Cyclops in the eye. He's supposed to look up at Cyclops. And he's supposed to have all this short man attitude on.
Napoleon.
That's why I think Scott Conn would be a perfect Wolverine.
Yes, that's the reason why I did that whole sketch.
That was a good post. Good post.
I know, I saw that. I loved it.
Yeah, I think that was I thought Hugh Jackman got the character right. I just think he's too tall. I've had friends like, why does that bother me?
Right, because Hugh Jackman didn't pull off the ruggedness that was Wolverine, like all the way around. He's like,
Wolverine is one of those characters. I think more people know Wolverine through the Hugh Jackman character in the comics, and I always like the fact that he was. People are like, why does it matter if he's short? I'm like, because that was half the point. Everybody underestimated him. Everybody thought he was just a pushover, and he wasn't. That was so. Yeah, that kind of that irritated me a little bit.
And I'll tell you, so as much as I like the Spider-Man movies, and I do like them, I do enjoy them, my biggest problem with the Tobey Maguire version of them was that his web was biological.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Now, to me, that's where you get, because somebody said, well, what's the big deal? Because it's, he still has spider webs. I said, no, you don't understand. Part of the character of Peter Parker that he was that he was a young, brilliant junior scientist. He created his web shooters, and he created his webs that were strong enough that he could wrap up Dr. Octopus. Yeah. If it's coming out of his skin, that removes part of what's integral to the character of Spider-Man. So, it's a problem.
And it also made no sense that well, I guess you can go into biological mutations. It just didn't make any sense that it came out of his hand. I'm like, really, out of all the other parts of the body, it came out of his right on his wrist, right where it needed to. But I mean, you could. That's a whole nother.
It's a family movie, Aaron. It's a family.
It is a family movie. I know. I mean, me and my friend Tom, who I see all the time, we have intense arguments on what X-Men mutations could possibly be real, and there's like one or two we think could possibly exist. All the rest, I mean, we still think like, so how does Storm do what she does? It's comic books. You go with it, I guess.
So how does everybody feel about the Men in Black?
I loved it.
I like the first movie, and I actually did like the one where they did the
second one's good too.
Yeah, they did a young. What's the third one where they went back in time and there was that young. It was his partner was young. I thought that was Brolin.
That was Josh Brolin as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job as the young. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
I remember when the first movie came out, I had like this huge fit because it said Marvel instead of
Oh, Malibu. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just got like I don't know free ownership of it because the creator just disappeared. They couldn't find him.
No, that's not true. I know Lowell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
There was
the guy who created it is Lowell Cunningham, and I know I've swapped. Matter of fact, probably just as recent as a month and a half ago, I've swapped emails with Lowell Cunningham. So, that was a mistake. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be based on the Malibu comics, comic book.
See, I mean, I got those books when they first came out when they were Aircell Malibu.
Did you read them?
Oh, I loved them.
Okay, yeah. The movies are nothing like them.
No, but they, I think some of the spirit's still there, and they were just fun movies.
Yeah.
I have a little sketch by Lowell of one of the Men in Black.
Do you really?
I do. Yeah.
I agree. I think the spirit of it was captured.
Yeah. I thought they were. I never read the comics. I knew of them. I didn't read them, so I didn't have much to say. I thought the movies were well done. But I'd be curious again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I never read that comic.
Yeah, I never. I think I did read that one, and I wasn't impressed with the comic or the movie. It just wasn't my thing. I mean, I thought it was, it was interesting concept. It just didn't do much for me.
Mildly entertaining.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Yeah.
Has anybody? When's the 1984 Wonder Woman supposed to come out? Is it out?
I think it's supposed to be out by Christmas.
December.
And that's the one I'm waiting for.
It looks good.
Is the because I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. Yeah,
the Wonder Woman movie was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Has anybody seen Warrior Nun?
No, I still need to watch that.
And I quit after like halfway through the season.
Oh, you didn't like it?
It evolved very strangely, I think.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting the kind of directions it is taking. I thought. Yeah, she was an interesting, angsty character.
Yes, yeah. I only read some of course, I like Ben Dunn. Ben Dunn's a good guy, great guy. And I will admit I did not read a lot of the Warrior Nun books, but I read a couple of them. And I thought, just from my scant memory, I thought that those are done pretty well. Warrior Nun was.
I think I read the first 3 or 4. I thought they were well done. I liked them. He always had that very much that manga influence with.
Very much so.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, see, I really enjoyed Suicide Squad, but I did not care for Harley Quinn Birds of Prey because I think Margot Robbie just took that annoying, nasally New Jersey accent just way over the top, and it just ruined it for me.
Yeah, I actually didn't mind the Suicide Squad movie, but the Birds of Prey was just I had to say, going back to the question of the movie I would have walked out on. I was with my girlfriend at the time, so that wasn't possible. But I would have walked out on that one. I just did not.
It was really bad.
Did not like it, and there was just. And the new Suicide Squad movie looks. I don't know. I'm not a super huge. I mean, I know some of the Suicide Squad. I didn't read a lot of them. I mean, maybe it'll be good. I think Isn't Dunn the guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gun, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it.
I'm just gonna watch it for Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man.
yeah. John and I met him.
Oh, did you?
In Memphis. Super nice guy.
Oh yeah.
And Andy's a comic book fan. That's the cool thing.
Yeah.
You know, David Dastmalchian or whatever. I don't remember how you say his last name. But yeah, super nice guy. Well, any other favorite movies? Favorite comic to? What about I Killed Giants? Anybody seen I Killed Giants or read it?
I thought that was well done. Yeah, I read that and I saw the movie. Thought both were well done. Yeah, that was good. Ghost World was another one I thought was pretty good.
Ghost World's great.
I like. Yeah, Ghost World I thought was a well done movie. Oh, there was also The Road to Perdition. I thought was pretty good. I can't remember if I read the comic. I think I did read the comic, but I remember the movie being really well done too.
Now my kids would have said the Ninja Turtle movies.
Oh yeah,
The original.
I was the original fan. So I think the one I liked the most was the CGI animated one. That was like this. It became like this one-off one. That was probably my favorite because it got more of the grittiness of the Ninja Turtles. And actually, I didn't watch all of it, but what I saw of I think the second to last animated series, I thought was really well done. I watched some of that. I thought that was.
Well, we're talking live action.
Yeah.
Live action, the first one. That's the only one. The original first one was the only one I liked.
The second one was Vanilla Ice.
What's that, Wubba?
Oh,
the second one was Vanilla Ice.
Unpopular opinion, since we brought up some of the Netflix shows and TV stuff. I couldn't get into Walking Dead at all whatsoever.
I'm with you on that one.
It is slower than Christmas on its snail's pace.
I agree with you. I even remember reading the comics. Because I get a lot of my stuff to the library and read them just to check them out. And I buy a lot, but I remember getting into the library and about book 2 or 3, I'm just like, are there zombies in this? Because I remember they show zombies on the cover, but they rarely show up. It's just people walking around being angsty and bitchy, and then people would die at random. And so I still think that series I thought was done for what he was trying to do, but it needed a focus. It just had no focus. It just kind of meandered to the point where you just kind of okay, whatever.
It's like really slow character development that just seems to drag on forever.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed the TV series is going. I thought that would have died a while ago, but they're still kicking.
I never picked it up.
Yeah.
It's going and has a spin-off.
I couldn't get through the first 5 episodes, and the only reason why I went that far is because I promised somebody that I would give it that many.
give it 5 episodes.
Yeah. Cassisi says Secret of the Ooze.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
that was a decent. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that one.
No, I vetoed that. I'm sorry. Only the first one was the one I liked. I like the first one.
That had Tokar and Razor in it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We've really been enjoying Stumptown on TV. That was a comic from Oni Press.
I hear that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I found out that they canceled that, which I was kind of bummed with. Yeah, I heard that. Hopefully that's not true and that's just a rumor, but I heard that. I was
Kobe Smulders was doing awesome on that. She was great.
For TV shows, I think Doom Patrol, Lucifer, amazing.
Oh, I'm watching Lucifer again now. I'm watching last season on Netflix. But yeah, Tom is magnificent in that role. He loves it.
Yeah,
I've heard it was good, but I can't see it. Paywall.
Doom Patrol was really good as well. So I've never been a really massive fan of the Doom Patrol comics. It's been really because they're really quirky.
Yeah,
like really quirky. But the shows, I know it's Cyborg in there, but
they're on season 3, aren't they?
Yeah.
Doom Patrol 2. Season 2.
Oh, okay. Teenage
I'm
Mutant
actually
Turtles
surprised
sequel,
nobody's.
Secret of the Ooze. Gotcha.
I'm actually surprised nobody's mentioned this movie, and it's a decent movie. It does capture some of the essence of the character, Constantine.
Yeah,
I like Constantine.
That was a good adaptation.
Yes, it is.
No, I wasn't. I didn't read a lot of Hellblazer, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I like
One that I forgot to mention on the not so great list that I didn't like was Ghost in the Shell. You guys saw that, and
What's bad about Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, and it was so bad that the casting. I mean, it's like I like Scarlett Johansson, but they had her playing a Japanese character, and then they even tried to write it out of the script. And the shadiest thing they did is they went to Japan and they interviewed people on the street and said, "What do you think of it?" And they said, "I think it's great." And
apparently they didn't mind it, but they didn't like how much they sort of glossed over the actual story of.
And not just that.
Appropriation.
Well, yeah, and being somebody of Japanese ancestry, I thought it was really low blow because you go to Japan where they have an entire film industry dedicated to representing themselves, and you ask them, of course, they don't have a big deal with it. But as an Asian American, right? They didn't ask any Asian Americans what their thoughts were, you know. And if you're part of the, that ethnicity, you know that there's a difference between the motherland and those of us living here,
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty lame, But.
Yeah, I thought that I actually was one that actually liked the movie. That I didn't like how they wrote it out, but I thought some of the ideas of like splitting the personalities I thought were interesting. I'd rather see the Major as a Japanese, but I was just completely amazed that I would get anything from Shiro done as a movie at all. So there was a sort of innate affinity. I'm like, I'm much more of an Appleseed fan than Ghost in the Shell. But I thought for what they did with the movie, taking that part out of it, I thought actually I did some cool stuff with it. But it is something that isn't over. But then I remember watching, Japan did like Attack on Titan live action. And like everybody in the movie was Japanese, which is great. But it's supposed to be set in a Germanic medieval village.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so wait, what? So I mean, it's like, okay. I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's both ends.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're doing it on both sides, so I'm not going to worry about it.
All right, so the clock is ticking. So real quick, let's kind of run through the list. What comic would you most like to see an adaptation of?
Ooh.
That hasn't been done? It could be any comic. I guess it could be a Marvel DC comic too. Any comic that hasn't been done, would you like to see? And I don't want you to say, a good Fantastic Four. No. Let's one that hasn't been done. Would you like to see done?
Strangers in Paradise.
Strangers in Paradise. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Martial Law. Okay, that's a good one.
Saga.
Saga's a good one.
I'll do Saga. Yeah.
Aren't they? Does the Saga have a deal? Or
Probably.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
They're
was
meant to be
thinking
doing Why the Last Man, aren't they?
Maybe that's the one. I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
they
Why the
were.
Last
I
Man
think they
meant to be
still
a
are.
TV
Yeah.
series? Yeah, that'd be really cool. I look forward to that.
I heard rumors that Roland Emmerich, the guy who did the Pirates of the Caribbean wanted to do Alien Legion. And I'm a huge Alien Legion fan, so I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I'm not crossing my fingers, but I would love to see it. I'd love to see Bone done.
Animated
that would be more
Bone.
animation.
Bone.
Yeah. And ElfQuest in animation too.
ElfQuest too. I was going to say that. I mean, those two, especially Bone, is screaming. I'm like, look at this. I mean, just pull the trigger on this. I would love to see it animated.
Yeah. Because CC said Sandman.
Yeah,
Sandman.
Yes.
Aren't they making a TV series out of that?
They are. Netflix.
They do have a plan for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were doing. Yeah.
John?
Crap, I just lost it.
Another one.
Everybody stop talking. John's thinking.
Slain.
What is that, Wubba?
Slain.
Slain. I don't know that.
Oh.
Yeah. Slain or the ABC Warriors. Either one of those two.
Oh, that would be cool.
Barb, good job. Yeah. I was waiting because I was going to say cat and mouse.
There you go.
Cat and mouse would be awesome.
I
would
think
like
so.
to see Rogue Trooper if they did it back there with like the ABC Warriors. If they did Rogue Trooper as like a Band of Brothers, a gritty war TV series, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So
I think Cat and Mouse would work as a TV series.
I think so too.
That's what I'm thinking. Cat and Mouse would be like perfect as one of those gritty TV series.
Yeah, like one of those like a 12 episode.
Yeah.
Why haven't you tried optioning these already?
Well,
there's a script.
So part of the problem with that is, I mean, that's a really good question, Pete, and probably a lot longer than we have to sit now.
We'll squeeze it in, let's start 5 minutes.
Right. Part of the problem, there's layers of problems with it. Number one,
I want to go to a premiere on
I do too. It would be fun. The first is obviously access to a studio. There's got to be someone who is interested in it to begin with. I don't have, me personally, I don't have that. I'm not in that circle of friends. I don't, rub elbows with movie and TV makers. I rub elbows with comic book makers. And I think that's part of the problem. I think if that is ever, once that obstacle is ever kind of overcome, I think it'll be a whole lot easier for the entirety of Silverline Properties to find a way there. So if you know someone, please let me know. Go ahead.
Isn't the original creators of Malibu like Hollywood now?
So you're talking about the founders?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can. Yeah, we can talk about that.
I might have somebody.
Yeah, I think that's mainly what we need. Is we need some avenues like that. So, I think that that's just something to put on everybody's to-do list. Is to start looking for those. I know one of the options I do want to explore is actually Mickey Clausen has avenues to animation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I intend to explore as we get a few more books out because I think that could.
You know rule 1 of making television and films, don't you?
I don't know. You tell me.
Use other people's money.
Yeah.
Don't use your own money. You'll quickly go bust.
No problem there.
Here's what I would actually like to see happen. I would like to see a young studio that is hungry and looking for properties. Say we are looking for properties, and we're going to take these and we're gonna market them to Netflix and Amazon and Hulu. I'm not looking personally for a huge Hollywood studio to be approaching us because I just don't, I'm not anticipating that to happen. But I think it'd be advantageous to us to find some young studio that is looking for properties that they can do and have them, some kind of first look sort of agreement with us or something like that. I think that would be handy.
A few more issues of these stories under our belts before we can even start thinking about that.
We need some more product, and we're getting there though. That's the good thing is that guys, you guys know. You just look at all the stuff that you're doing, and look at all the stuff that's being done. So we're getting there, and I'm really excited about all the things that we're doing because I think this time next year we're literally going to probably have double the product that we have now, that's exciting to me. Mm-hmm. And also I mentioned this on my my chat with Steve the other day with the Drinking with OCD, who by the way is probably going to be in touch with all of you to come chat with him on a show, and I encourage you to do it. It's always a lot of fun. One of my personal goals, and a lot of this just depends on product, right? One of my personal goals is to have us look to get into the distribution channels next summer. If we can start, and I don't have a target month, but I'm thinking, like May, June, July, August, something like that. But what we need is a couple of series that are finished or like right there, almost finished. And once that happens, if we can just get 2 to that point, that's suddenly 10 months worth of product, right? And you say 10 months, Roland, how's that? Well, first month is issue 1, second month issue 2, third month issue 3, fourth month issue 4. Next month is the trade or the new number 1, number 2, number 3. So, my goal is once we go to distribution, is there should never be a month without a Silverline product.
Yeah.
Because, and you can't blame them. So this is not a barb at retailers, but if you're not in the catalog, they're going to forget about you.
Yes.
So even if we just have one book a month in the catalog, I want us to make sure that we've always got one book in the catalog. And we're close. We're close. So I have no worries that we're not going to do it. But like I said, my target, and a lot of it just depends on, what we can finish. But my target is next summer. So.
May is a good.
What's that, Wubba?
May is a good month.
May. I May. Well, I'll tell you. I'll be honest with you. I really, really, really wanted May of 90. I'm sorry, May of 20. I thought we would be further along in Cat and Mouse than what we in the first volume than what we actually are, because May of 1990 was when the first volume, issue 1, was released with by Aircell. So, and May of 2021 would be 31 years to the day. So May is still a possibility. Okay, that's sidetracked. Don't forget. All right, let's do this here. Don't forget, everybody. Kickstarter. It's right there on your screen. Go check it out. Back it if you can. Share it if you will. Lots of cool stuff. Lots of original art. Like I said, some of it. I just got this sweet. This is not available yet, right? I got to put this up. But this is this sweet Alex Sarabia and Barb Kalberg cover. Alex and Barb, of course, are the Divinity art team, and it was colored by Sid Van Blue, the colorist of Trumps. But this original inked piece is going to be available by Barb as soon as I can get it up there. Lots of original art. If you can't find some original art on this Kickstarter, you're not a fan of original art. That's all I got to say. So, anybody else got anything before we call it a night? No, I see a bunch of heads. Okay, check out the Kickstarter. Oh, tomorrow we're going to go. So we didn't really make the official announcement, but we've kind of done this. We're going to the one-on-ones. We're just going to do it once a month. Got to just be too much for me to do. I just could not keep up with that and everything else, and so we're going to go once a month. Tomorrow we're also going to be on at a different time. I think we're going to try. I think they said 4 o'clock. And I am going to be interviewed by the CEO of Silverline. My wife is going to interview me. Tommy will be doing art on the stream. So come in, and they apparently has some questions for me that I think Tommy's been helping. I've known Tommy for a long, long time. So I think they've got some questions for me that's supposed to surprise me. So y'all come in and check it out. And until then, make mine Silverline. All right. Good night, everybody.